I love NXT. You love NXT. If you gave them enough time, your grandma would probably love NXT. Well, as long as she had the information beforehand and she was a fan of pro wrestling anyway. I don't think NXT is that good that people are just going to buy in after never watching pro wrestling. The reason we all love it is because it's good, but there is an issue when it comes to calling wrestlers up to the main roster. Sometimes it's great, but sometimes it's not so good. Why? Here's why. There's always going to be some gimmicks that work no matter where they're being performed. Take Stone Cold Steve Austin. I am pretty sure you could take Stone Cold Steve Austin and put him anywhere and his shtick was going to get over and his shtick was going to entertain. He was just good at it, he got the character, and the character was just amazing. That's true with many performers too, including some that have come from NXT. I mean, look at Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose. Yeah, they crafted their skills on the indie scene, but when they made the transition from developmental to main roster, there was no problems. There was no growing pains. When that happens, it's great because it's always good to see a pro wrestler keep their momentum alive. But that's not always the case. In fact, it's not always the case at all. Too many times it becomes very clear that what worked on NXT isn't going to work on Raw or SmackDown. Be it the differences in the crowd, the size of the arena, or the writing team just not understanding how to make that gimmick fly, it falls flat on its ass. Or it just didn't click, even though it did click down in Florida. Just one of those things. For every Sami Zayn, there's the Ascension, or the Vaudevillains, or Apollo Crews, or Tyler Breeze, or Adam Rose. Oh, you can throw Bo Dallas in there as well. Bo Dallas was great down in NXT, and even though he is still great now, nobody knows it anymore. Everybody forgot. Now, I don't think these people are bad at their jobs. Far from it. I think they're all great, but there's no two ways about it. They're currently footnotes on the main roster when down in NXT, they were a pivotal part of the machine. In the case of someone like the Vaudevillains, that idea was always going to be difficult to sustain. It's so entrenched in one idea that once you get it, you then start to get over it. Rather than feel the crowd and the concept and letting these teams evolve though, what seems to happen is that nobody will budge and everyone just doubles down on the idea. As soon as that happens, you're already writing these guys into a corner because where are they meant to go? If it's not working, you've got to change something so it starts to work. Let's go with the Vaudevillains again. After a good debut and a solid run, they even went after the tag team titles, post-brand split, they have vanished into obscurity. Now, if they're vanishing into obscurity, why is no one sitting there and going, maybe we should do something different with these guys because what did work isn't working anymore? And how many times have I said the word work already? And that's the key. It's got to work, because if it doesn't work, it's really simple, it's not working. The problem in many ways is the success they had down in NXT. I mean, if you've seen it go well there is going to be some stubbornness and some resistance when it's time to change it, especially if you're attached to NXT in some way. But that's not good. The NXT atmosphere and stage is utterly different than what happens on the main roster. Aside from an incredible increase in attendance, most of the people that attend NXT shows are the same faces that go week in and week out, especially when we're talking about Full Sail. Of course they're going to buy into these characters. They're seeing them evolve and develop each week. So as soon as it clicks, everyone is going to feel like they're on board, like they had something to do with this success. They saw it all come together, and because it's not global TV, it's not so much of a sink or swim situation. NXT is undoubtedly good for all concerned, but there needs to be more thought when it's time to call somebody up. Look at Apollo Crews. If this wasn't pro wrestling, I'd be out there now in the real world sticking missing posters up on lampposts, because the guy has just vanished from life. I know he was on SmackDown the other day, but one appearance in about 72 doesn't count. He would have been much better served staying in NXT and having a proper program these past few months and getting better all the time. There can't just be one pathway for all wrestlers that are going to make the jump, because all wrestlers are different. Kevin Owens, for example, is a much more down-to-earth character than Victor from the Ascension. Treating them the same doesn't make any sense. Each wrestler should be sat down and given a unique plan that's going to help them when they get to Raw or when they get to SmackDown. Otherwise, it's curtains. I've never really understood what that phrase means, to be honest. What's curtains? Surely the only thing that is ever curtains is curtains. But I digress. I don't think NXT is going anywhere for a while, but at the moment it is still in its infancy. And because of that, there's nothing wrong with ensuring that you're still developing the developmental territory. And what I mean by that is don't be afraid to make some changes if what you're doing isn't working. Shift some parts, move some parts, do whatever you can so when someone gets called up to the big leagues, they don't fall off a cliff. Think of Tyler Breeze. That man is oozing with talent and I never really see him. I mean, I do actually think that his fashion police gimmick is quite funny, but he's never on TV. If he's not on TV, I can't enjoy that. Just put him on TV. It's a new world for WWE, what with all this calling up shenanigans, and it's got to be allowed to grow so it benefits all involved. I mean, people like Joe and Nakamura are going to be fine regardless. They're seasoned pros. But a more WWE-centric individual, they're probably going to need a little extra push when it's their time to be called up. So make sure you give it to them. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and to like, share and subscribe. And then why not go over to WhatCulture.com and have a little look over there. Then you can come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and here's to a healthy, happy and heroic new year. And what I mean by that is in 2017, go and become Batman. You know it makes sense.
If you're a fan of the videos that WhatCulture puts out on its YouTube channels, why not join WhatCulture Extra, our subscription service for paying members? For paying just a small fee every month, you get access to exclusive lists, pipe bombs, booking videos, wrestling's worst merch, live streams for Raw and SmackDown every single week, exclusive WTF videos looking back at classic pay-per-views. Also, there's exclusive interviews, documentaries, Q&As, short films, and if you're a fan of WCPW, every episode of Loaded will be uploaded one day early, and you'll be able to view the episode in its entirety. And included in the price are all of our iPay-per-views such as Refuse to Lose and the upcoming Delete WCPW. All that for just $6.99 a month, or just over $5 for UK fans, and you can cancel at any time. For more information and to sign up, go to whatculture.com/extra.